So I finally downloaded TikTok recently after avoiding it for the longest time, for what I think are pretty obvious reasons at this point.
Hey, jolly haircut, jolly haircut, jolly haircut time.
Can you smile?
Hey Jesse, do the growl.
Because of this, the application is still trying to figure me out, frantically throwing content at the wall like so much partially cooked spaghetti. The algorithm quickly discovered that I like horror films and have a somewhat inquisitive mind. That's a nice way of saying that I let the intrusive thoughts win. Those two characteristics apparently add up to unhinged conspiracy content. Who knew? Now, I enjoy Ancient Aliens as much as the next underemployed stoner, but these theories had an unusual focus on celebrity and Satanism. So we're going to review some of those theories today and see if we can understand the thinking of some of these people and why they might have come to these conspiratorial conclusions. We'll find naught but logic, I'm sure. Either that, or we'll find out that what they're saying is actually well-founded, and I'll have to invest in several lengths of tinfoil and start distancing myself from my friends and family because they've been mentally captured by the elites. So let's start ourselves off with the queen of pumpkin spiced lattes herself, Taylor Swift.
I mean, they can't make things any more obvious, can they? Taylor Swift won her 13th Grammy for Midnights.
Okay, so she had a 13th Grammy nomination, got you. 13 is an unlucky number, I'll grant you that. And for the album Midnights...
She's taking the piss.
Wearing the black and white duality symbolism right there in front of your face.
Oh, and she's wearing black and white. No, that's the nail in the coffin, really. No, she's definitely sending coded messages to other Satanists. Or that's the accusation, isn't it?
And then she won another one, so 14 total Grammys. I guess they couldn't make things too obvious.
All right, of course, yeah. When you've made some kind of connection, like it's the 13th Grammy, then they couldn't be being any more obvious with it. But when it's the 12th or the 14th Grammy, it's, well, they couldn't be too obvious, could they? 13th couldn't be more obvious. The one before or the one after, oh, well, they can't be too obvious. Love the logic there. Heads I win, tails you lose. Undefeated logic.
But one has to wonder if it's possible foreshadowing for things to come. And she announced her new album called The Tortured Poets Department, out on April 19th. And April 19th is a very demonic day.
I actually wasn't aware of April 19th being a satanic day. So let's get our thinking caps on and do some research. According to libertytothecaptives.net, a highly reputable source, to be honest, I always see yellow flags when I see the word liberty in a URL. April is the first day of the 13-day satanic ritual relating to fire, the fire god Baal, Moloch / Nimrod. 13 days, it's longer than Hanukkah. Baal, Moloch. This is some insidious level stuff right here. They sound like serious fellas. It's giving paganism. It's serving Gnosticism. These gods, the sun god, Moloch, and the rest of it, also known as the Roman god Saturn. Oh, right, yeah. Well, that's, Saturn. He's nice, no? Wait a minute, Satan, devil. Holy crap. When you mention the Roman god Saturn, it all seems much more innocuous. So you have to spice it up then with the, oh, that means devil, by the way. So if the day that the album was released on is significant because it's a spoopy day, then let's compare some of the other release dates. 10/21, no, that's not spooky. 12/11, no correlation there. Well, I guess they can't be too obvious with it, can they? Suppose it's only significant if it confirms our confirmation bias. Otherwise, we can just throw it out. Yeah. Cool. Any evidence counter to our theory can be dismissed. That's called truth-seeking.
It is just quite evident and quite clear the Taylor Swift agenda is in full effect. It is nothing more than yet another psyop and another distraction.
Now, in case you thought this was all merely just the wild-eyed speculation of the deranged, we actually got confirmation of all this from the White House itself.
They are literally mocking y'all. Right after the Super Bowl, Joe Biden's official account, his official account, posted just like we drew it up. It posted this picture.
Mocking yar. Apologies. I would never mock someone's personhood like that. That's immature and unkind and very, very funny, so I'm going to do it anyway. Sorry, not sorry. I guess you could say it's me. I'm the problem, it's me.
And now, if you go back, they took it down like it never even happened. We also had Taylor Swift and her friends literally doing magic spells on the people there. Look at Taylor's left hand.
Oh, is that what a spell looks like? I thought it was more of like... or maybe a bit of...
And then look up here, you have this little spicy spice flashing an upside down cross. I mean, really, what else would you expect?
And the Ice Spice hands. These people, they're really trying to tell us that devil rock and roll fingers are Baphomet or some bollocks, like it's something new. The upside down cross thing is unfortunate. Does anybody remember the Balenciaga scandal from 2022? Those saucy photo shoots? With all the fashion industry at the moment seems to find leather and demonic vibes to be very edgy. To me, it all comes across very atheism Reddit, very much I'm 14 r/I'm 14 and this is deep, but they really think they're pushing boundaries with it. They think that they're serving this. But really, what we're getting is this.
And this is Kanye West mocking Christ while watching the Super Bowl. He sure is not walking like a Christian.
Now, I'm not gonna presume to comprehend what kind of Dr. Zeusian madness is rolling around inside Kanye West's head, but I do know that he's borderline obsessed with Jesus and he's defo not trying to mock Christ here. He's just very overt and outlandish with extremely little taste or subtlety. I think if I had to describe Kanye West in a word, in a word that didn't reference his mental health, I would say gaudy.
And would you look at this? We have Twitter's Jack Dorsey hanging out with Jay-Z, a high-ranking warlock, and Beyoncé, a high-ranking witch.
A citation needed on that one, buddy.
We had this clock behind me literally combust into flames. Like, get it? The time is up, and then when it's up, it just turns into flames, like everything's about to burn. Just like we drew it up. This needs no words. Look how demonic. This, I don't even need words for this. But again, just how we drew it up. Before I leave, let me blow your mind real quick. You see the shadow beside Joe's head? Let me zoom it in real quick. It's Satan.
Wait a minute, is that... It is the devil! Oh, buy Disney stocks! Bloody, my Mickey Mouse sounded like Jordan Peterson then. Save your father from the belly of the whale. Now, I'll be the first to admit that this tweet is slightly odd, to say the least. The official narrative from the White House is that it was an attempt from the Biden camp to mock the, quote, right-wing conspiracies about Taylor being a psyop. Now, I would be inclined to say that this was a clumsy attempt from the Bideneers, notably headed by boomers and mirthless activists, to get involved in the meme game in an attempt to compete with Trump, which is a fight you're just not going to win. Trump is the king of cringe, the king of memes. I think both of those posts show a tendency for these theories to be non-falsifiable, the best kind of claim. All evidence in either direction is proof to the positive. When dates or events align, it's because the conspiracies are trying to be obvious. And all the times they weren't, obviously worshipping the devil is because they were covering it up. What usually happens in these cases is the official version is considered additional proof that the conspiracy is a cover-up.
Good morning. Taylor Swift is not a psyop.
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 Taylor Swift is not a psyop. Taylor Swift is not a psyop. Taylor Swift is not a psyop. Taylor Swift is not a psyop.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Where have I seen this before?
To push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Now, I remember this floating around in 2018, it was, and it was actually a result of all Sinclair-owned news stations using the same script, and it's pretty freaky stuff. Unfortunately, when one side saw this, they saw evidence that the other side was using fake news against them, and predictably, the same in reverse. But that's all academic at this point. What's relevant here is if you compare the video side by side, you can see that they are actually the same video, but will not let research or evidence get in the way of confirmation bias. And in order to fall for this, people just aren't doing the research. They scroll, see something that, to their mind, has pretty big implications, and then just chuckle wryly to themselves and move on. I know that this is a bad way to consume media, because when I first saw this back in 2018, I was shocked. So what was the first thing I did back then? Went and bloody Googled it. And I think the fact that people are still falling for this today shows that people just aren't doing any research, and that problem is only growing. Here's another example of how you can choose to see what you want to see.
This video of Taylor Swift is going viral of her shaking her head when Ice Spice thanks God in her speech.
First of all, Taylor Swift, I don't know who that is. I'm just going to have to assume you're talking about Taylor Swift, because I know that you don't think she's called Taylor Swift. It's a clear attempt to game engagement there, but we move.
Now, given the context of what she's saying, she might have just been agreeing with her, and you'll see what I mean when I show you the clip in a second. But something you need to realize is that God can be anything, especially when Ice Spice was showing us those demonic hand gestures at the Super Bowl and rocking an inverted cross. But just check this clip out.
Okay, yes, thank my munchkins, of course. Where would we be without our munchkins?
I want to thank my manager, James. I want to thank my producer, Riot, for making the best music they can.
Thank the manager and producer, yes, nod, yes.
Shout out all the other nominees in this category. I want to thank my label, 10K and Capital, for always supporting me.
Thank the label, yes.
And of course, God. Without God, none of this would be possible.
And without God, none of this would be possible. No, shakes head, as in, no, it wouldn't be possible. I'm also noticing that this vid is 1 min and 1 second long. Is that not the minimum length of time needed for the TikTok partnership program, whatever? Just saying, starting to see my own conspiracies here. So there we go. See what we want to see. Everything's part of the conspiracy if we want it to be. But let's shift gears now and look at the child of destiny herself, Beyoncé.
So let's talk about the Super Bowl right quick, right? Now this Beyoncé at the Super Bowl, but this was Beyoncé just a couple days ago. I mean, just look at their fingers though. Better yet, just look at the lips. Look at how one more fuller than the other ones are.
Okay, so we're comparing and contrasting here two images of what is potentially one of the most glamorous women alive currently at different events with different themes and different tones. So she appears wearing different styles and different makeup. And honestly, when I saw Beyoncé's lipstick was applied slightly differently when she was being Marilyn Monroe to how it was applied when she was being a cowboy, I was shocked. Shocked!
Well, not that shocked.
And the fingers, I mean, just look like fingers really. I don't really know what point he's trying to get across there.
I bet y'all ain't even peeped the ad during the halftime show, huh? Well, she basically pretty much came out with a clone.
Introducing Beyoncé.
What the?
Seriously?
First of all, a robot is not a clone. And the clone stuff, yeah, I didn't include any of the clone stuff here because there's just so much of it that the video would be 30 hours long. There was lots of clone stuff for Taylor too. I looked into it so you don't have to. And the theory goes that Beyoncé has an alter ego called Sasha Fierce. Anybody who's a real fan of her presumably will know. I did not. This has led to a theory that in 2000 she had to have some stem cells removed in order to preserve her transcendent talent in the event that she died, which then she allegedly did in 2010. So I still don't understand what the implication is here, though. Okay, so she has clones. We'll just assume that. Okay, granted. What are we saying here? That there's 2 clones and that they each attended an event themselves? Is this the plot of 2017's film What Happened to Monday? A bit of a crap film, to be honest. Not to recommend.
I also peeped this word in her little ad or whatever. BOTUS.
I'm running for Beyoncé of the United States. Can you hear me now?
No breaking.
Now, she said this stands for Beyoncé of the United States, but the real meaning is Bank of the United States. This is what I be meaning by symbolism. You know how I told y'all how the bank's gonna shut down? People not gonna be able to get their money. You know how we gonna go to a one world currency? BRICS. That's what this about.
BOTUS. This theory is clearly way off. Obviously, the meaning of BOTUS is actually borrowers of the United States, in reference to the CIA's current operation of installing borrowers in every home in the United States who scurry around and steal our private information. What's one thing we know about borrowers? That's right, they're wizards. Full circle. Closed. Stitch it, go home, I solved it. And I just want to say the idea of BRICS as a plan from the US government is ridiculous. Now, this one is just a troll. Will Smith just woke up and chose violence whenever he decided to record this.
Yo, we out here.
It's like this video has been designed to provoke the most paranoid people out there. The idea that we've got a massive celebrity telling us that nothing is real, then an almost reptilian hand playing marbles with the earth at the end. It's not yelling fire in a crowded theatre. It's sneaking up behind a paranoid schizophrenic and whispering, "They're here." So, conclusions. What have we learned? Conspiracy theories, I think, have existed since the advent of the conspiracy itself.
Oh, lesson number 1, trust no one. The minute God crept out the third caveman, a conspiracy was hatched against one of them.
But the sexiest and most absurd of the most mileage, and so they're the ones we hear. It's a process of natural selection. Those best adapted to the environment thrive, and we live in a media landscape dominated by celebrities. I think a lot of this, especially the satanic stuff, comes from the big social changes that we've been seeing in recent years. And these changes are often championed by celebrities, so I can understand how a lot of people would put the two together. Another factor is celebs just doing sussy shit. Like, why are they so obsessed with the hellish imagery? What's with the leather and the Balenciaga stuff? It's just unnecessary. So, solutions. My 3-step prescription. Be more incredulous. Don't believe everything you hear, unless I said it, of course. Touch grass. And understand that people are generally incompetent and incapable of grand conspiracies. We'll call that one a wrap, people. Let me know what your favourite celebrity conspiracy is at the moment. I wanted to cover the Lana Del Rey concert, but there wasn't time. Anybody out there who has figured out that I too am a psyop in the employ of the Illuminati, please feel free to comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.